Alrighty. What's going on, folks? It's your man Jay. Let me give myself a sound check. I always give myself a sound check. I promise that one day I will schedule these. Oh, it's definitely live. I promise that one day I will schedule live streams, but as of right now, can't do it. Not really interested in scheduling live streams. All right, got it. All right, so sound check is good. I will send this out though to the masses. Welcome back to part six, part six of this continued coverage for this lovely thing that we have going. There's so many different topics and everything that we're going to be discussing, and right now we're going to be talking about audio. So shout out to everybody who's able to join in real quick. Hopefully the quality of the screen is. I'm streaming at 720p, so finally getting things going. Was having a lot of technical difficulties, but the support team is real, so I appreciate you guys. So part six, if you saw, I kind of let you know who's going to be in part six, but I wanted to go ahead and just get some kind of introduction because this person is obviously some of you guys might not know who he is, and some might definitely know who he is. So we're going to bring him on. If you don't mind, please share the stream. If you feel like it, if you don't, if you just want to come visit and talk, that's fine too. I appreciate the love. But in part six, I wanted to discuss something that is important to me and has become important based on, some of you guys giving me feedback on, hey, Jay, you probably should check this out, or you should check your audio. You should probably look, getting your feedback is what makes me keep going on here. So I think it's pretty simple to note that part six is going to be a good one. And we're going to have a good time like we always do. So without further ado, let me save this. I promise I'm getting ready to kick this thing off. These are always fun. You don't want to miss part 7 either, because it's going to be good. Part 7, it's going to be good. So part 6 get ready to be good. We get ready to jump it off really nicely. So, but you do not want to miss part 7. No, I'm not dragging. I'm actually sending out. Shout out to T, man. T, I'm gonna start doing it. I know what you're telling me. I'm gonna start scheduling streams. I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'm not really big on. I just don't want to commit to too much. So I'm gonna get this chat open here. Comments over here. Okay. Welcome everybody. It's your man Jay. Part 6. Today we talk about audio, and none other then one person I think some of you guys would agree to bring on is this man right here.
Hey.
Finally got the man in here, man. Oh my gosh. I got my man. I was kind of skeptical. I was like, man, I wonder if he'll do it. And a little birdie said, man, Jay, he's definitely going to do it. He's the one to get. So everybody say what's up to my man, El Jefe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you having me on, Jay. Appreciate that, man.
He's the one to get. Everybody say what's up to my man, El Jefe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you. It sounds like the audio's going.
No, that's me. I'm doing my sound check still. My bad. Kick myself. I'm still getting back in the groove of this, guys. I'm getting back in the groove, and I'm still learning. I'm not afraid to learn as I go. So I appreciate all these fumbles I'm having, because later on by part 10, I'm gonna be a pro up, and I'm gonna be like a DJ, like I used to be back in the 81. You know what I'm saying? Flowing through all that. No, I'm not. I'm so past that. So audio, man. First, shout out to my man El Jefe. If you don't know who he is, all you gotta do is put El Jefe in everything, and you should probably see him come up. Or you can type in OnePlus headphones /El Jefe or /El Jefe. Just anything dealing with some kind of audio, earbuds, headphones, anything like that. I was doing my sound check with my one and only famous Sonys that I love so much. But we're going to talk about audio on this right here, because this is a big part of where people told me, Jay, you sound like trash. Your audio, people just came direct, like, man, you sound horrible. You need to get your camera in check. You need to get your audio. It's like, did that happen to you, El Jefe? Did they take you through stages on how bad your videos were? Like, first it was my camera. They said, man, your camera sucks. You need to get a new camera. Saved up enough money to get a camera. Man, your audio sucks. So you need to get a camera. You need to get a new mic. Saved enough money to get a new mic. How did it happen for you? How did you know that your audio was bad?
Oh, no. Well, it was not just the comment section, but thankfully when other creators started watching my stuff, they were the ones who really kind of DM me, and they were like, "Hey, like I like what you're doing. You're bringing good energy, but this audio is not good, man. Like this is just it doesn't sound good." And because I started off basic. There's a lot of people who started off the same way I did.
Oh yeah,
You just put your cell phone up against something and you just hit record and you start going.
absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, how can I improve this? And I was watching the right people, started asking the right questions. And but yeah, really that's how it was. It was initially where I was like, all right, I got to get a camera. And then come to find out, nah, what's more important is audio is more important. Like I need to make sure that you guys can hear me clearly, because people are willing to put up with poor video quality, but they won't put up with bad audio. So
I've heard that. I've kind of heard that. Like that's like a mixed bag. Do you think what do you think the ratio is of people saying I can't hear you, or what do you think the ratio of that is? Like better audio versus better video? Because personally, I take like 75% video over audio, or 60 split. And I'm like, what's the split that you actually get? Is that the people watching really prefer overall, like regular?
Oh man, you froze up on me, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, you froze up on me. I think I caught the gist of it though, because you were saying what percentage would I think is
What's the
audio.
ratio that you think your audience is they probably know for all of them, but before then, what do you think the ratio is for regular people for video versus audio? You think like a 60 split, 50, 70, 30?
Oh, I would say probably something closer to like, yeah, I would say 70-30 or like 80-20. People really leaning towards wanting better audio, because there's a lot of people who watch videos like in the background. Like they'll listen to a lot of people's videos like while they're driving, so they can't watch intently. So being able to hear you clearly is such a big thing. And also it's you get the biggest gains for the smallest amount, because if you're just using your phone and you just get like a $20 lav mic, you just put $20 and cause a massive improvement in your audio. So whereas if you want to improve your video quality and you're using a cell phone, I mean, you can get better lighting, but there's only so much you
Yeah,
can do. You got to like upgrade to a camera, so the cost of entry into improving your video quality is way higher. So yeah, improving your
you're
audio
answering
can be done
questions
for
before I
cheap.
could answer them, sir. Yeah, you're answering questions before I could even ask them. But
Yeah.
you're embarrassing over the right person because he's already going into the next. So yeah, audio for me, I think it's people complained about that second for me. They told me that my video was poor because I was like most. I was just using the camera with the mic built in. I didn't know, or I was using the phone with the mic built in. And once LG came along, they started giving us the ability to adjust that gain, and then it got a little better. But I continued to use the camera, audio, like the mics that were built in. And then eventually they told me my audio sucked really bad and I had to get an external mic. And obviously it wasn't a Yeti first. I got some cheap $24 or $10 lav mic or whatever. And it improved, like you said, it took it to a whole other level. It took it to in another direction. And I felt like my video wasn't very good. But how do you think your but first let me first put your comments down below, guys. This is El Jefe Reviews, and I think he's pretty much probably known for like reviewing headphones and earbuds and things like that, and give you good sound quality on what's good, what's not, comparisons, things like that. But to a new person walking up to you on the YouTube side, because we're talking to people who want us to, just so you know, guys, all you guys who are watching, I see your comments afterwards. Like on this video, there'll be people watching on the replay and they'll be asking, or they'll be commenting saying, man, I learned a lot. That is what these are for. That is what these are for. It's not just to showcase your favorite YouTubers. It's to really get some insight and pull information from them so they can help you, because I can't do it by myself. I don't have all the answers. So all those people that are commenting, sending DMs, I really wish you guys would not send the DMs and just post it on the video, especially if it's the replay portion or just a rerun back, because that way people can follow up on the video, and then El Jefe, T, anybody who's been on the show could probably just answer you directly, instead of sending me a personal DM. So I appreciate the DMs, but for those that are commenting publicly like that, that's good because other people might have the same question. So what do you tell these people that might come to you or might watch this and say, you know what? Or they might comment after the fact, like a lot of people do. They might DM you, say, hey, I saw you on the show, and they're afraid to ask publicly for some reason. But what do you tell that new person that's just starting out? Because remember, we're talking to people who are just getting started. Let's just say they're in between 3 months to 6 months. They're at about 500 subscribers 2,500 view count, whatever the minutes, hours, or whatever. What do you tell them if they tell you, I need to get my audio game up? I'm not really concerned about video right now, but I need to get my audio right because I'm getting enough comments. What do I buy? My budget is like $49.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, that's easy, man. Cause I'll either tell them one of two things. Usually I tell people to go with the lav mic because it's normally the most compatible with, like, if that's an iPhone that they're using or if it's an Android that they're using, it's usually the most compatible one. You can start off cheap, like Boya, they sell for like $20 on Amazon. If you want to step it up a little bit, you can get the one from Deity. That one's like $50. But those will be like the very first thing that I would say. And if they can't afford that, like, let's say, nah, I just don't have the budget for it. I'd say one thing, try to get closer to it and then do your best to like sound dead in the room if you can. And this can be done on the cheap. Like, what we used back in the day was just blankets. Like, we hung up blankets on the walls to avoid that echo, and it helped greatly. So if you could do some just basic little things like that, that can help you. But usually a lav mic is the first go-to. Just set it right on your lapel. It doesn't matter if it's on camera, honestly. I mean, who cares? But as long as your audio sounds better, it's a huge improvement.
It's ironically enough, I'm glad I could laugh at myself. They put, I saw the comments in there saying, Jay, you're cutting out. Jay, you're cutting out. Your audio's bad. Folks, I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm not supposed to stream anymore because I'm giving you all the stuff that you probably should hear. That's how it is. Normally, when you trying to do something positive, it always falls apart. So, I mean, it's weird that I'm having all these internet connection problems and stuff like that because that's what me and LFA talked about before. Like, I have no idea why. It's like they're trying to ban me out or cut me out or something like that from giving you some positive feedback. But I see your comments like, yo, Jay, it sounds horrible. It looks horrible. I don't know what to say, man. I'm trying to keep this ball rolling for you, but we're gonna keep it pushing. So if it goes bad, it goes. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that because when I look at the stream on the backside, it looks great. You know what I'm saying? But when I put it into a different window, this was kind of the thing last time. Something with the connection, so it's good. Hopefully, the audio and everything and the internet connection stays strong because El Jefe, again, you're known for doing a lot of headphones and earbuds and stuff like that. Can a person use, let's just say they have some Jaybird Vistas and they are using a phone. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever used Bluetooth, like recording video? Because people do it all the time. Like they'll have their AirPods in and, they're filming with their iPod, their iPhone or iPad or whatever. What if that's all the person has? What do you say to something like that? They start talking about latency and things like that. Do you have latency when you try that? I have never shot a full length video with a Bluetooth setup.
Yeah.
What do you say to a person if they say, I don't want to be connected? I want to do it over Bluetooth.
Oh man. I mean, you'd have to, if you're going to do it over a phone, I would not use regular Bluetooth earbuds because one, the audio quality is going to be better on your phone mic than it will be on the Bluetooth mics. But secondly, there is latency, like recording latency. So there is going to be a discrepancy between the voices. And I mean, you can fix that in the edit where you can split the audio from the video and then adjust it. Yeah. But it honestly causes more problems than it's worth. So I've done it, and I continue to do, call quality tests and Bluetooth quality tests in my videos. But just because I do that so often, it proves to me that it's kind of not ready for that aspect of it yet to like use it as a recording device. There's solutions out there. You got Rode that does the wireless mics and stuff, but right now if somebody came at me with that question, I'd be like, nah, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to your audience.
That's good to tell them the truth and like, no, don't do that. Stay wired up.
Stay wired up or just use the built-in mic.
I think I would probably tell them to use the built-in mic too, because most phones today, if they're going to use a phone, it's got a really strong mic. And most of them have directional mics. It'll zoom. The voice will zoom. The mic will zoom to the voice of whatever's recording, and that's something that's important. I don't think a lot of people know that about certain phones, but most of them have directional microphones to where the audio is coming towards the source of the video, and that's a huge step in 2021 with phones being able to do that now. So, to people that might tell you, hey, if they're asking you, hey, if you say, hey, I'm saying, you told me to buy this mic. It was $34. I didn't like it. I sent it back. I just want to use my iPhone 12 or I just want to use my Galaxy S21. How do you get those people? Like, how could you actually help them? Would you tell them you need to be able to shoot in pro mode? With an iPhone, it has the directional. Does the iPhone have directional microphones when you're on the rear?
Ooh, I don't know. I believe it's beamforming, but I don't know.
Rear, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, it has dual because I know when I use Filmic Pro on the iPhone, it gives me the option of using like the front mic, rear mic. And then if I want to go Bluetooth, I can use a Bluetooth mic.
There you
but that's not even built into. You have to. That's a separate app you have to use.
go.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, if they were going to roll that way with a cell phone setup, I mean, you don't even have to have the latest one. You can get like a G7 or a G8 or like a LG like V40,
Oh yeah.
V50,
Oh
and
yeah.
they have those
Yeah.
features where you can do the directional mic. So I
Pro
mean,
mode.
and you can get those LGs for dirt cheap right now.
Dirt
So
cheap pro
yeah,
mode. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot about LG being the kind of the OGs for doing audio with those pro mics, man.
that's a real creator's phone. Like
That
people
is
will sleep on them, man. But LG, even like I said, even now with everything that happened, like I got a V40 just sitting back here that I use for audio stuff, and it
mhm.
is absolutely legit.
Yeah, I mean LG. I think, and we're going to talk about that too, man. You are on it, dude. And just so you know, guys, these aren't scripted at all. I mean,
Yeah.
none of these are scripted. He's pretty much getting there and moving this right along the direction that I want to go. Not so quickly, but he's right on it though. So appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate the super chat. Alt that tech. What's going on, man? Yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping in. LG, like I said, somebody said RIP LG. That is the truth. I think you got to it long before I wanted to get to it, but since
Oh,
we're
that's all good.
here, LG. No. I love it. That means, dude, that I got the right person. I mean, I got the right person. LG, because there's plenty of people out there. Shout out to my Project 13. I think he still uses. He's purchased like plenty of phones out there that are LGs just to have them because he
Yeah.
still uses. He's one bro. His V20 is going bad, so he just bought another V20. Um, to a person out there that wants to use a phone indefinitely in 2021, is that a bad thing, or should they? And it's going to kind of lean toward. We're still talking about audio, but when you compare it next to a mirrorless camera or some other thing that you can use to get your videos right, audio is an important part. What do you say to those people that say, you know what, I'm okay. I'll just take your advice. I'll just go buy LG G6 and I'm done. I don't care what the quality looks like. I'm just going to get good audio. Like because some people do get hung up on that. But to the people that think they can stay with a phone in 2021, me and T touched on this last week. I don't think it's possible to do it, but what do you say to those people that are just adamant about saying, I'm staying with a phone? It can match cameras, and this goes for audio and video, though. But maybe audio on a camera might not be as good, but on a phone, it might be better. But when you put them together, you need to have a solid package. So those people that think that they can use a phone indefinitely on 2021 or through 2021, would it have to be a specific phone that's going to be able to tackle audio? Or would you tell them, hey, get the V60? What would you tell them?
I mean, I would say go for it because there's plenty of cats that are either still using their phones for most of their work, like Josh Quinones. I know he's still using his phone for most of his stuff. I think he uses a ZV-1 for his talking head stuff.
Really?
But yeah,
Wow,
he
I
still
didn't know
edits
that.
on his phone and everything.
Wow, I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, 40,000. I think he's at 40,000 subscribers or something
I
like
did not
that. And
know he still use a phone. I mean, I use a ZV-1 for my top down too. But
yeah.
wow, I didn't know he used a phone to edit still.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, I mean, he's really doing it. So, like, what I'll say is this: like, make it easier on yourself, especially when it comes to audio. If you can get a phone that has a headphone jack, the Sony, LG, whoever it is that still has a headphone, I think the Asus ROG phone still has it.
Mhm.
If it has one, that you're already going to start off in a better place because then you can use wired audio, and
Oh yeah,
that's already a massive improvement, and it
yeah.
makes your life a lot easier. But if you can't do that, let's say you just happen to be an iPhone user or a Galaxy
Mhm.
user and you got the latest model, that's fine too. So I mean, you can still make it happen. The Type C jack, you get the dongle, and you can still mic up, so it's not a big deal. You can still do it. I think it's a little tedious to do it, but you definitely still can. I think one thing we always have to remember though is that when it comes to the camera on the cell phones, those sensors fall apart under low lighting conditions. So either shoot outdoors, shoot with a lot of light. If
Yep.
you're not going to spend the money on the camera, make sure you invest in lighting. That made the biggest difference. Like for me, when I was using my cell phone for pretty much everything, when I finally got the lighting right, that's when people stopped realizing that I was using a phone. And that's why I used to shoot so much B-roll outdoors because
Yeah.
indoors the B-roll fell apart. Like it does not look good at all.
Yeah.
And that was on a Galaxy S8.
Yeah. We
Um,
talked about that about with the. I personally feel like the phones can't handle the ISO after a while. It just
oh
really
yeah, yeah,
it goes south. And no matter how good that audio is, the phone just cannot handle the video like a
yeah.
real camera can. But like you said, we give that same advice. Hey, be out, get the most natural light you can,
Mhm.
and almost any phone can do great outside.
Yeah,
Nearly all of them in 2021 are pretty much fantastic, no matter what the price is. I mean, if you can get outside, there were just people that Gigi shoots outside
yeah,
sometimes, and she's got a good camera. She's got a GoPro Hero 9. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I mean, sometimes getting outside in the natural lighting is probably the best way to go. But if you do have a phone only, you're gonna need to buy those little things that stick on those little mini dead cats they call them, where it sticks over the microphone. I tried that and it just didn't work. It still was super windy.
Yeah,
And the audio, and the worst thing you want to do is record a 20-minute video, and the audio is bad, or something goes wrong with it, and you don't have a backup. That's the
yeah.
worst thing you want to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
outdoor shooting for audio is tough, and I tell people like just be patient with it because I used to shoot outdoors and
Me
I
too.
gave up. It was so difficult, but because it changed my entire workflow to where I had to start shooting instead of doing long takes, I had to start doing individual sections. Then I had to clip them all together because
Yeah.
I was having to talk around cars just smashing by or
Mhm.
motorcycles, dogs barking, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So it just created too much drama. The lighting was better, but it created so much additional work on the other end that I was like, I'm done. I even tried going to a park. The park was nice and it was quieter, but it was windy because it was an open area. So I'm like, it was just I couldn't win
Yeah, I
outdoors.
remember Juan. I don't know. Juan did a couple of videos outside when he was testing different mics and stuff a long time ago. I think it was one of his videos. Juan Bagnell, by the way, if you guys know, he was testing out using a phone for in the audio. He had external mics and stuff going. And I remember those videos, man. It's just different to shoot outside with a phone for the audio. You're gonna need some kind of microphone if you plan on doing any kind of creation. I would say even indoors, like I have my Dyson going right here, and you probably can't hear it. You might be able to hear it. I don't think you can though, but
Hmm.
you're going to need some form of audio to bring you to the next level. Because if your office is, if you don't want to turn the air conditioner on, you just want to have a small fan, anything, you're going to need to have some kind of they call them dead cats, but it's noise reduction to cover the microphone and get the wind out of it. Because sometimes you might have a humming or hissing in your mic. Now, I know you don't know technically what caused. I think Android Stud might know. He's here. Um, yeah, Android Stud might know. But that hissing, no, you know what I'm talking about? Like, and I think, isn't that just checking your gains? Would you say it's just checking the gains on the microphone before you start recording? Because your mic should never peak out. I think I saw this class and it said I need to keep my mic to where it's not peaking out into the red.
Right.
It's a way to adjust it to where it's peaking high, but not going higher than like 12 or 15, depending on what your setup is.
Yeah.
But I still was getting hissing noise. And I found out that it was something with a speaker or something.
Mm.
I recorded like a 45-minute setup, and I had a hissing noise, and I had to trash it. And I was actually testing a microphone for a company, and I was furious because I said I just did this entire setup for like an hour almost, and I had this hissing noise. I don't know. I found out I think it was just a speaker,
Yeah.
but man, that would frustrate the crap out of me.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. And we get that a lot too. And I mean, there's ways around it. I mean, there's different types of mics you can use or even filters afterwards if you want to edit your audio. But one of the bigger things, like always checking your gain first and doing tests, like test it out first. Like with this one, anytime I'm going to start recording a video, and when I'm recording my audio, I'm going to be looking at, all right, where am I at? And I'm usually aiming for negative 15 dB. That's usually what
Oh
I'm aiming
wow!
for. So
Okay,
if I get lively, I usually never, I'll maybe get to like -5, but I
Mhm.
never peak. So
Yeah,
in that way, with it at -15, it still sounds good, but here's the thing, I can always boost it. So I'm going to amplify, I'm going to compress, I'm going to do a lot of
yeah,
different things to the audio to get it to sound the way it does in the final product.
yeah.
But it's never raw audio. Like when you watch my videos now, I don't sound exactly like I do right now in this
No,
stream. So
no,
there's a little bit more done to it to really clean it up, to even it out,
yeah.
to balance everything out, to EQ it a little bit. But it's that's one of the things where starting off with a good recording, so not not recording yourself too loud, so lower gain, usually less hiss, and then you can really work with it if you want to. And there's free programs for doing that
You can
too.
increase your volume in post.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
have you ever done again? If you're new, you're going to run into these problems where you might have it too low, and you can only peak out it so much. Depending if you're using Final Cut
Yeah.
Pro X. If you're using iMovie, it peaks at 400. So I think it peaks at 400 for the volume. Even if you try to adjust it auto, but you're going to run. You could possibly run into, as a new person, that hissing, that dreaded hiss, that it's like a humming almost
Mhm.
after you've recorded something. And some people recommend that you do two recording setups. Do you, before I get to the next question here, do you use two backup mic as well?
I do. So just in case, I do have another one that's plugged in just in case. But the beauty of it is I've never needed it. So
Mm,
that's the good thing. It's been 2 years and I've
yeah,
never
me
had to
neither.
like,
I
yeah, I've
haven't.
never had to worry about it. It's there and it's doing its thing. But that's just in case. But if I ever realize, like, because as soon as I'm done doing a take or doing the full video, I always watch it immediately, like, all right, is the audio good? Is it doing okay? And
Yeah.
I'll scroll through the whole timeline to make sure that the waveform is solid the whole way through. And then after that, I'm good. But if I notice anything happen, like there was one time where for some reason the mic just shut off in the middle
Mhm.
of a video, I just redo the whole take. I'm like, oh
That's what I've done too.
yeah,
That's what I've done too. Do you have your mic set up like you have? I have a top down mic, and
yeah,
then sometimes I'll have a mic down low.
yeah. No,
Um,
the second one is basically like at waist level off camera.
Gotcha. Yes, that's about
So
where, because it's on
yeah,
the arm, so I can just move it around. But it's pretty much down below. Now that's kind of, most new people will say, "Well, I can't do two mics." You can if you it's all possible. You can
yeah,
use a really affordable mic and hook it to your computer. Like they're like
hmm
$5. Put a little $5 microphone on Amazon that's on like the little stands.
yeah,
Put it right close to you, under you, and then get your really good mic as your main recorder. It's totally possible.
yeah.
Or if you're doing a phone, then yeah, you might need to use an actual recording device. I have little miniature recording devices too that are just they plug USB and they sound actually better than some mics that you can really get the gain really high. But again, if you get it too high, you might end up having noise. They don't filter out noise very well. So I try to record with those really low. It'll pick up everything. It'll pick up somebody closing a door across the room, or it'll just pick up everything. And that's not what you want. But
Yeah.
um, I think it's I think when new people, shout out to the Super Chat, he says, yo, that MV7 is crazy. Yeah, yeah.
That's the mic
Um,
I'm using right here.
yeah. I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah. But I think audio. Let's get this. Keep your audio low. You can always boost it. But if it's
Yep.
too high or clip's not fixable, and that's why I said Android still would probably know, because everybody knows what he does for a living.
Yep.
Pretty much a producer, so he knows um, what you need to do to get good audio. I think he sits behind the board all day,
Yeah.
and so he's probably directing people on what to do. So that's why I'm glad he's here, so he can clarify that. But I think even if you weren't a professional like him, like he's been doing that for 20 years, so he's gonna be quick to spit those answers out. But for a novice, like a straight up new person, let's fast forward to they actually have a camera. Let's just say they have the A6000. You know what I'm saying? They have something that actually can take the A6100. So they can take a mic input or a ZV-1, just anything, any DSLR mirrorless camera,
Yeah.
SLR, SL3, or any of those, the 90D, anything that can take a mic input. Let's just say this person has the fortune enough to get going. I personally use, for my top-down short shots, I actually just use a Boya. It costs $49, and I've had it for like 2 years, man.
Yeah.
But I've got a boom arm I've got it positioned to where it's coming. A question. I got that question for you too, because this is gonna be something that some people probably don't know. Like, you see, his mic is positioned kind of like he's got it on the boom arm. My Yeti X, I keep it on the boom arm, but I keep it coming from under for these videos. Um, when I'm shooting videos, I'm shooting with it like you. I have my Boya is up on that boom arm, it's pointing down above me, like the camera's here, and the
Yeah.
mic is like right here out of view. I found that that's the best place, and I've researched with certain people, and they say, yeah, you need to have the arm above you, right over top of right above your head, just about, because the voice is going to be more natural. Is that how you shoot? Do you shoot like that, or do you mix it? Do you have it under like me sometimes? Do you have it above all the time? How do you do it?
Nah, man, it looks just like it does right here, right
So
on
you
camera.
use the overhead bomb. You use the bomb just like that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I just let
For
the
your
mic
top
sit
down
right in the
shots,
shot.
everything.
Oh, for no, well, as far as B-roll, that's I just overlay B-roll over me talking. Like I
Oh,
never
okay, so
shoot
you
any
do it like that.
dedicated top down. Yeah,
Okay, got you.
yeah.
So you don't ever plan on doing dedicated top downs at all?
No, not necessarily. I was actually trying to work on a setup for it, but when I tried to do it, I had picked up a 51 A5100 to do
Mm,
the top down stuff. I was using it for streaming forever. Like it was working
yeah.
great for streaming. And I was like, all right, let me try recording with it. Man, that thing overheated in 5 minutes. I was like, all right, well, that's not gonna work. So right now it's just not in the cards. Like what I'm gonna end up doing probably for top down is I'm probably gonna try to find another either like a lower end 6000 series body that
Yeah.
I can just set up on this other boom arm that I have on this side.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to set it up and have it set up like that. And then I'll just record when I'm doing my talking head. I'm going to have the product in front of me and
Yeah.
just record both at the same time.
Yeah.
But just not yet. I just haven't done it yet. Because right now I just shoot a lot of dedicated B-roll. That's what I was doing right before the stream. And I
Yeah.
probably got another 2 hours worth of B-roll shooting after I'm done here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
just
think
grinding, man. We're always working.
Oh man, you ain't never lying. I think Eric uses 3 mics,
Yeah.
which is it's nothing wrong. I mean, you have to find your groove. You have to find out how you're going to get the best audio, and you're never wrong for using. You can never have too many audio sources going because if one, you'll never know if one goes out. We have all. I know you have too. You shot a video and the mic went out, and you had no idea.
Yeah.
That's a horrible situation to be in. And a true story, my mic was going out, my cable on my Yeti, something's wrong before we started the stream. I'm not lying, right? My mic was messing up, right? Yep, it was for some reason it was going out. And we're talking about audio. It's like, man, every time I try to stream, my goodness, it's one thing after another.
And it's always the hottest take too. Like when you just drop the most fire video and then you go back and your mic was out, or you forgot to hit record. It's either one of those two.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I appreciate the super chat, man. Neil, appreciate it. I try to avoid. Well, I guess when you're giving advice to a new person, I say people who are less than a year are still fairly new. But after a year, man, you've gotten your feet wet. Even if you're not at like the 4,000 watch hours and you don't have 1,000 subs, you've gotten your feet wet in 1,000 in 1 year. You definitely should have made some effort to meet someone that's going to help you. So if you're doing YouTube for a year and you're not where you think you should be, and you just haven't reached out to anybody, you got to reach out to people for help. And me bringing these different people on the stream because they all have a different point of view and they're all going to add value to you if you decide to do this. Because anyone can turn on the camera, anyone can, like me and T were talking about last week, you can turn it on, you can just shoot whatever. But I think Barry Johnson said it best. He said, if it's trash, no one's going to watch you. You can spend all this money on whatever, but if you don't have anything going on that people want to see, no one's going to watch you. You know what I mean? So I think when it comes to the audio, one of the strongest suits, and if you're just coming in, we're talking about audio here in part 6 about starting a YouTube channel. And these are just some tips and things that you really should consider. You don't have to take any of our advice. You can go say, forget y'all, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I can make it on my own. But reality is, from experience, you can't make it on your own. You're gonna have to get someone, someone's help. You should want to grow and learn how to make your channel a lot better. You don't want to mimic someone else in a fashion of, I'm going to be the next. There's no more FFAs. There's no more J Wills. There's no more Erics. No more Tech Loving Mamas. There's no more T's. There's no more. Those slots are filled. You can create the lane for yourself by watching the people that are here talking about these things to get you going to get the best out of your channel. Because you put out that right video and the audio is right. Man, I remember LFA told me to get that lab mic. Now I spent $10 on that, but I made like $112 off that video. You see what I'm saying? The turnaround, if you just take the most basic thing, he's not telling you to go spend a bunch of money on audio. I think his first thing was get a lab mic, Amazon, $20, $30, totally worth it if you're going to go real with it, if you're going to be full time with it, or just you want the best setup first.
Yeah,
my concern about audio,
I said the return on investment on that lav mic is so high.
Oh, yeah. It pays for itself. Yeah. But what do you say to the people? Because my thing about lab, the reason I stopped using a lab mic, let me see what this says. He said, this is Savage. We're going on Savage. He says, Jay Will, what's hard for me to approach people on YouTube because 99% of people just don't want to interact with me. Well, sometimes, and that's cool, man. I respect that. What's going on? See, 544. The thing about this, about people not wanting to approach you, if I'm reading that right, people don't want to interact with you. I don't think it's that. And again, I don't know. I talk to you, and I'm saying I've seen you a bunch of times, but I think more so. I guess this is real briefly. I don't think I could say it's the other person, because I always tell people, however you present yourself online, this is what your legacy is. So I've seen some of your stuff. I've seen you in action. I think you're a cool cat. But when I say approach people for help, I don't mean just randomly, because you won't get a response probably from MKBHD. He won't talk to you. He won't just respond. Not because he thinks he's better than you probably. Because again, I met him in person multiple times. Cool cat, man. Young cat is cool as a fam. He's a nice young guy. He will talk to you, chop it up, take photos. He's 20-something, man. So he's into all this social stuff. But when he's on YouTube, he's working. Like, this is his livelihood. So he puts his brand out there. So I think if you want to get help from people, you can reach out to him if you want to, but I'm saying realistically, I've reached out to him before meeting him in person. I reached out to him for questions and stuff. He never answered. I didn't take it personal. I thought this guy probably gets a million DMs and he doesn't have time to go through them. But as far as people not wanting to interact with you, keep pushing. Either you're going to flood them. I asked somebody a long time ago, I said, how do I make it? How do you think I can make it on YouTube? And they say, you know what? I'll just flood the market with some pretty good content and somebody will bite and you'll start to meet new people. This is what the person told me. And they're not a YouTuber. They don't know anything about YouTube. This was actually, if I'm being honest, this is when I was still in the corporate world. They said, you know what? Because I was thinking about doing YouTube seriously and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, what should I do? They said, this is when YouTube wasn't hitting like it is now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all these rules in place. And they pretty much told me, you should just try to flood the market with your best content. You're only as good as your last video. So work hard every time. Boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, honestly, I really don't know how and what serious direction you're going with this, Savage. But as far as people not wanting to interact with you, you're in control of that, is what I say.
Yeah.
You're in
also,
control of, yeah.
I was gonna say, just don't take it personally. Like,
yeah. You're totally in control of how people interact with you. So, I mean, if you just joined, he's talking about me getting help, from people is what I started talking about help. So, I mean, I think people will interact with you, but you have to you stay in control of that part of the situation because, depending on who you are, you're right. Some people might not want to interact with you, but that's such a vague statement. Like, interact with me is good. To me, that's a big wide. That's too broad and open for me to even try to give a direct answer or reply to that. But nonetheless, we're just going in Park State's audio. My man, LFA. Let me get a side question for you. What right now? Now, it's kind of put you on the spot a little bit. What are the best earbuds that you've got under $200?
Under 200 right now?
Mm-hmm. Because we have pretty much all the same ones, I think, just about. I might have as many as you. I have a lot, but you might have a lot more. But for $200, what do you think?
I mean, you can get a lot for 200 right now. Yeah. I'd probably say one of my, if I'm just going to go with like one of my personal favorites, it probably aren't the best ones under 200, but one of my personal favorites is the Sennheiser CX400.
Yeah.
So those are one of my favorites. The other one is the Sony SP800. And those are super comfortable, especially for people that are like being active. Like if you want to go work out and stuff, before the XM4s dropped, the SP800s were the only ones that had a water resistance rating. They gave you full access to the app. So you get access to all the stuff the XM3s got. The only things you missed out on was they just didn't have as strong of noise cancellation. That's it. Yeah. They were more comfortable. The battery life was better. So it's like, that was the better buy. And I got a lot of people to buy those on Prime Day because they were hitting for like $78. Ooh. So yeah.
$78. XM3s for under 200. Yeah, they sure are great. The XM3s are on the bigger side though. When you roll into 20, when did they come out? When did we get those? In like 2019?
2019. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we've had them for a while. And I need to grab the XM4. Shout out to man LaShawn. He just grabbed the XM4s.
Yeah.
The M4s. He said, I'm not calling this long name. He said, these are now called the M4s. And I said, okay.
LaShawn wasn't having it. He wasn't having that nonsense from Sony.
Yeah, I was watching that video in tears, man. So I think I need to grab the M4s for sure because I've been rocking with the only Sonys I've had is the XM3s, like as far as earbuds. I'm totally here's something right here. Look, these are great. I have those too, and they're fantastic. But see, the problem with getting consumers to understand all these different brands make great products is trying to convince them to buy it. That's all I would, because people always ask me, well, what are those? I never heard of them. But just because you never heard of them, that doesn't mean that they're not great. Yeah. I'm not telling people to buy Beats by Dre's latest ones. I'm not doing it, man. I'm just not. Yeah, the last pair of Beats that I bought was like blah blah. They weren't even that great.
Yeah,
not to me.
That was my last video. That was my video from yesterday.
Yeah.
With the new Beats.
149 though.
Yeah. Oh no, that's Apple tax is heavily in play. Like it is heavily in play
all day long.
But the thing is, like, because I had people that were like, "Oh man, I don't know how you could recommend these," and I'm like, "Listen, I'm like, Yeah, Soundcore, Soundpeats. There's a lot of the companies out there that are making great stuff for way less money. Here's the thing, though.
Yes.
Apple can count on their market share because Beats is a known
Yep.
factor, and
They're
people will
not
pay
good.
that. Watch come Christmas time, how much those things are going to sell.
You think
Like
it'll be
it's
like
going to be,
$99? You think they're gonna
it's going
drop?
to be crazy.
You think they're gonna drop them to like 99?
I think they'll probably drop them to like 129 or something around Black Friday, maybe.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
watch, I mean, just watch. That's the thing. You're going to see a bunch of kids next year rocking Beats earbuds like 100%. So I'm fully expecting, and they were smart. They dropped it right now before back to school. So you know
Right.
it's going to be a lot of kids are going to opt for
Right.
those. Now they get colors. You don't just got to be
Right.
stuck with white AirPods.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but
That's
the Apple tax is real. Like those are competitive at $99 for sure. 150? Nah, not really, but they're still good. But it's just you got to understand what
see,
you're
that's
paying
just the
for.
problem. They're just good, not great. That's
Yeah.
my thing with those. I can't bring myself to buy any more Beats right now. I don't know why. That last one put a bad taste in my mouth. I'm just not sure. And they're
Yeah,
only $149. I mean, I spent what, 400 on these. I
yeah,
mean,
right.
they're only $149. I should be running out there. You know what I mean? But I guess, man, I don't know what it is. I just can't grab hold of reality or get myself to get them. I probably
Yeah.
should. People have been asking me. I'm like, I'm not really. So, like you said, the tax is there.
No,
The
no, I
Apple
mean this
tax
is real. Like I tell
is-
people that it's real. Like the Apple tax is a real thing. I always think like with the AirPods Max, they were a good $100 overpriced. The
Yes.
Beat Studio Buds, a good $50 overpriced. The AirPods Pro, a good like $50 overpriced. So it's usually whenever you're getting something from them, just think this is what you're paying for. You're paying for that name, you're paying for that brand, and it is what it is. Like either you wait for a sale or a discount, or you pay the tax. It's however you want to play it. So I know what it is. That's why I'm like, as soon as it was available, I ordered it because I already know what time it is. The beauty of it, thank God for all my people who come through. Those have already they've already paid for themselves. So I'm good.
I got a question for you. When it comes, first of all, what's your favorite? Like? I'm using the Yeti right now. Sudoku is another mic that I use that I really like. I know you got that one, but it's the Yeti. I don't know, something about the Yeti. I just like using the Yeti. My problem with the Sudoku is that there's no input. It's like the input on that, and this might sound crazy, but the input on that is only one. And it's like that input from like a printer, like old input. I need to get the newer
Oh, yeah, I know
version.
what you're
I have
talking
that
about.
one. Yeah,
It's like the
it's like
USB
old,
B cable.
yeah, some kind of square, and it's only USB. And so with the Yeti, I can use it with a camera. I can use it wherever because it has the headphone jack and the audio out and the micro USB. But what's your favorite? My favorite right now is the Yeti X and the Sudoku. What's your favorite mic right now?
Right now it's going to be the MV7.
MV7.
The other mic I use as a backup is my Samsung Q2U, and that's another $50 mic.
Yeah. I got the Samsung. I got that one. I bought one. It was the little small one. It was $100. I think it was $149 when I got it. The little small one.
No. It's I can't. I got to dig it up. It looks like a singer's mic. It's a dynamic, so it looks like a singer's mic. Yeah.
Okay, I think that might be the one I have too. Then
it's like a handheld basically, but I put it up on the boom arm.
Oh no, not that one. You're right. No, not. I have the little small one. You're talking about the regular style, like an interview style.
It's like a singer's mic. Yeah, it's a dynamic. Yeah.
But it's Samsung though. I love Samsung, man. I love Samsung. That was the first mic, like real mic that I actually got, like for audio. I used to plug it into my MacBook Pro, and I thought I was just the best thing. I thought I was just a big dog at that point. Samsung is another brand that makes good microphones that people just kind of brush off, like because it's not Yeti or it's not these big name brands. People brush them off, and I just don't understand why. Like it's like they don't want to accept that there's some brands out there that are just better than your favorite. Period.
No, it's facts. I mean, the beauty of it too is I was like, at the time, I was looking at a mic and I was like, all right, at the time I was going to spend like $250. I had this Amazon money and I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me buy this. I was going to get a Rode or I was going to get a Sennheiser. And I hit up two people. I hit up my guy Podcastage and Juan Bagnell. So they had both of those dudes, and both of them were like, nah, man, like they're like, what do you need it for? And I said, for my videos and for my live streams. And like, all right, are you in a sound treated room? I said, no. Like, all right, you want to go dynamic. You want to go with like a singer's microphone, a vocal mic. And I'm like, okay. And then they pointed me to this. I was like, that mic's only $50. They were like, don't underestimate because of the price. Like, you're gonna love this microphone, and it's got everything. I was like, all right,
Really?
let me go
But
ahead
can
and
you
order it.
hook that microphone up to just like? Do you have to have it hooked in USB, or do you have to have it on a driver?
It's not at all. It can run off of it has an XLR out and it has a USB out.
Okay,
And so
you
yeah,
can
so you
run it
can
on
actually
USB.
you can run it on USB as well. So it was
Which one is it
something
again?
Samsung Q2U.
Q2U.
Yeah. It's funny if you go to Amazon's page for it, there's a
Mhm.
video there and it's a video of Juan Bagnell telling you all about the mic.
The Samsung Q2U.
Yeah, but
Huh.
it's really good. I used it for about a good year as my main mic. People loved it. Like, people are like, "Wait, how does it sound that good? It's only $50." I'm like, "I'm telling you, like, it's not just all me. I mean, you don't got to overspend. Like, even this one, the
Yeah.
Shure, I wasn't going to buy this for 250. It was one of the homies that had it. He put me up for it. He was like, "Yeah, you know, 150 or 175, and I'll shoot it over to you." So I went ahead and picked it up like that. I wasn't going to pay 250 because I'm
So
of
that
the
mic runs 250 right now.
yeah yeah
That mic sounds great though.
yeah.
I mean,
No, it's worth it. But I'm of the
I
mindset
mean,
of I try to get the most bang for my buck,
oh
and if I
yeah,
can
we're on
get
that mindset together.
yeah,
I'm always pushing for people to try to get the best deal. People are always, "Oh, you crazy? You got to pay to play." I'm like, "You a sucker if you still walk around talking about you got to pay to play. You should
yeah,
always be scouting for the best deal." Like
yeah.
Trent said, hit the pawn shops.
Oh,
You can,
dude,
you can get some crazy deals at pawn shops.
dude,
People sell them low.
the stuff I've seen in pawn shops, like, man, it's unbelievable. I remember picking up my PS2 for dirt cheap back in the day from a pawn shop, and I was like, "Wait, how much you want for this thing?" Like, they didn't even know what they had. I'm like, "All right, let me swoop this up." But yeah, no, I mean, that's real. You can find all, especially stuff for like creators. Like, you can find cameras. I
Oh
know
yeah.
my boy Gameski, he's found a ton of microphones at pawn shops.
I like
So
this comment from the Hawk. Shout out to the Hawks TV. She said, when people don't know, they're hesitant to try those other brands. And that's just a fact. And I think that's where certain channels, I put my channel in that category. I'm going to always try to keep people aware. Like, you don't have to spend $299 just because you see me with it or you see some of your favorite content creators with it. You don't have to do that. I try to always give people an out. Like, you have to give a person an out. I'm not in the market of making my viewers go broke, just to try to
yeah,
keep up with the Joneses. It's not what it's about. And she's absolutely right. Now, you have to give a person an out. You should always have an outlet, meaning, yes, this mic costs $194. However, here's a mic that costs $28 or $68. It might not get you all of these features, but it can get you some of them, and you'll have
yeah,
good quality. You know what I mean? Like the mic you're on right now sounds freaking fantastic. So if a person can find it secondhand or on a special, they totally should do it. They
yeah.
totally should do it. So what arm are you using?
Oh, the one that I'm using is actually the Samsung arm because
Oh, it's a Tesla arm.
yeah,
Because I want to get
Samsung's
my setup like that. I'm still using I like the ones that grip down. You know what I mean? The
mhm.
ones I'm talking about. They have the big clamps on the desk. I like those.
Yeah,
So I
that's
want
what
to be
this
able
one
to move
is.
it around. So that's the same one. You just got an extended arm.
Yeah. Basically,
Beautiful.
so they come in 3 sizes, but the reason I pick Samsung's over everybody else's is because the load capacity is like 6 pounds. So if you
Oh,
wanted to mount a camera on it, you can with the lens.
oh,
Like,
got you.
it'll hold my M50 or my 6600 with the Sigma lens
So
on it.
you don't even have to worry about doing an overhead rig or anything with that arm.
No, not at all.
You got it. You straight.
Yeah, because that's what I was looking. I was looking at the ratings for all of them, and I'm like, the only ones that could hold was Blue, but Samsung had a higher load capacity. I was like, what? But it'll hold it. Like, I was really surprised, but it does it. And, the Sigma lenses aren't light, so but it does a good job of it. So I'm with it. I mean, I may end up doing a rig like what T had with
Yeah,
the bars that come up and then the overhead
yeah.
as a permanent setup, but just not
That's
yet
what
for right
I
now.
moved to a permanent. I moved to
Yeah.
a permanent overhead rig because I got I got two camera, two lights up there. I got
Mhm.
all these different mounts up there, so I don't have to move this at all. I just got a completely different desk for recording, and I just like having the permanent overhead rig
Yeah.
setup. I think it's just one of the best, man.
Yeah.
Um, let me text my wife and let her know to come get this dog because she needs to go out. But yeah, she's right here. Like, you can't see her, but I don't know if you saw her, but she's big. But she was like, "Hey, I need to go outside."
Nah, she's doing her thing, man. She's
Yeah,
chilling.
yeah.
No, I
But
appreciate that, man.
the overhead mount, I like your setup. I like that setup. Looks like some kind of professional studio. You know what I'm talking about? I
Yeah.
need to find that arm right there because I like this setup with my Yeti with it coming up from the bottom like this. But I like that setup better. Like the way you have it, I love what it is because I would actually mount that like off to the side? Because you got that. That's an extended arm, right? That's a really
Yeah.
long arm, right?
Yeah, they come in 3 lengths. This was the extra long one because I
Yeah,
have
I
it
need to
set up
get.
on the it's not actually set up on the desk that I'm in front of. It's actually set up
Mhm.
on the desk on the side. And then I
What?
just have it come up
That's
and
a
over.
huge. I need to look that up. Like real talk. That's.
Yeah.
I found the mic too. I found the QU2, and folks, he's not lying. That mic is like $60. Some
Yeah.
people are selling it brand new for $40. The Samsung Q2U.
Yeah. Slept
It's
on.
like
That
a
is a slept
regular.
on mic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a microphone that you interview people like, hey, how you
Yeah.
doing? I'm James. Yeah,
And
that's
it's even got
great.
a headphone jack. So if you want to like
I've
live
seen.
monitor your audio, it's got the headphone jack on it as well. And it's got a hard cutoff. It's got a hard on off switch. So if you want to mute yourself and you don't
Oh
trust like
wow.
the software, you can just hard mute yourself. So
And that's a better deal than this Yeti I'm using. I mean, because most mics don't have the audio jack to sound check yourself.
yeah.
They just don't, man.
Yeah, that's the one thing I
No.
liked about this one. Like even with
You just
MV7,
said no.
I've got the headphones right in there because I want to be able to hear myself when I'm doing it. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that took me a while to get used to. Is like I want to monitor my audio when I'm shooting my videos, but now I just
Mhm.
take the headphones off and just kind of talk it out.
Oh yeah.
But I just let the waveform in front of me tell me what's happening. So
Yeah, I'm getting you're swaying me on this mic right here, man. The one you're using right now, I'm saying. My Yeti,
oh
the Yeti sounds amazing. I love this Yeti.
yeah,
And I'm not even using the filter. I took the filter off because I just like how it looks. I think it looks cool.
yeah,
Have you ever popped? I know you have. If you've
yeah. With
never
these,
seen
yeah,
a mic,
because this comes right
yeah,
off. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it looks great like this. But and it also Yeti is obviously. What are your thoughts on like a person asking you between Yeti and the mic you're using? Because Yeti is a popular. I mean, a
Oh no,
popular
they
brand.
are. They can be
Most
really good.
YouTubers started off with a Yeti, or
Yeah.
they just use Yeti indefinitely. And I don't use Yeti regularly. I only use Yeti for live streams and some talking heads, but or podcasts is what I use the Yeti for. But what's your thoughts on Yeti? Because what is this mic now? It's only like 149 right now. I think it is the Yeti
Mhm.
X. I think it's like 149. I forgot what I paid for it when I got it, but this is a year old, I believe. I think this is a year old mic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Yeti has any new ones out. I didn't check because I'm not in the market of continuously switching mics. But what are your thoughts on Yeti with their lineup? Because we all started off liking Yeti at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Blue makes good microphones. Like Blue has some really nice microphones. I don't think the Yeti is their best, but they are good. Positioned correctly, set up in the correct pattern. They can be really good, especially if your room is decent. Like you don't have a massive room, so you don't have a ton of echo.
Yes.
But that's one of the things where I think they're good. People like them. They weren't my personal favorite. I didn't like the way my voice sounded when I tried a Yeti, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try something else, and that's where I ended up going to the Blue, or sorry, to the Samson.
Samson.
But it was one of the things where it's got to suit your style. You got to make sure you listen to it because a lot of people just buy them because that's what everybody's using. They're highly popular, but it's got to suit your voice. You got to sound good. You got to listen to yourself and say, does this actually sound good? Send some clips to people. Be like, does this sound all right? And if they say no, hopefully you got some people in your circle that keep it real with you.
Yeah.
And if they say no, then you can swap it out for something else. And what I did is I actually got both. I recorded myself and I sent it over to a couple people who do music. And I was like, how does my voice sound on A and how does it sound on B? And I think it was 3 out of 3. The Samson came back as the one they said sounded better.
Oh, wow.
Like it sounded more full. And I was like, okay, cool. They're like, what is it? I was like, well, one's a condenser. That's the Yeti's a condenser, and the Samson is a dynamic. Yeah. So they were like, yeah, the dynamic, it's a vocal mic. You sound better. Your voice sounds more full. So I was like, all right, cool. Now I know.
The tones and the pitches. I think like I was doing a voiceover with my Yeti. I had something on the video that's going to come out tonight. I had something, or maybe tomorrow. I had to do a voiceover for something, and the Yeti sounded fantastic. I hardly ever do voiceovers. I just don't do it. But the Yeti sounded fantastic, and I thought, wow, it sounded like you sound right now. Like you sound. I can't describe it. It sounds fantastic. I guess that's the word I can put. And I'm not trying to gas you up. You know me. I
appreciate it.
You sound really clear, and that's the way the Yeti sounded when I was doing that voiceover. Nice. But I'm wondering if I should switch to that mic, and that's the XM7.
No, this is the MV7.
MV7.
Yeah. Because otherwise you'd have to get like the SM7B or something. Then you got to buy a whole gang of other stuff. And this is being run off USB. Like people trip out because I'm telling, like they see the mic and they're like, oh yeah, you got that in XLR. And I'm like, nah, I'm running this straight USB.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. It does not sound like it's running on through USB. It just
Yeah.
it doesn't. And I think that's why Yeti can do so well, because they run through USB and they sound really, really good.
It's keeping it simple. It's just keeping it simple. When you don't have to use an interface, when you don't have to run XLR or a cloud lifter, anything like that, when you don't have to use any of that stuff, where you can just take a mic and plug it in and it works. That selling point is so massive for people. That's why a lot of the USB mics do so well. That's why that market is booming, especially on Amazon. That's why I probably have like 5 emails from microphone companies on Amazon that want me to review their stuff. And I'm just like, I don't review microphones, so I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Hey, you might
But
need to get into that, brother, because what's name said he already gonna buy the mic he was talking about. He said, "Man, by the time I leave this stream, I'm gonna buy BG Tech Live." He said, "I'm into buying this mic, man." But
oh yeah,
I think the Yetis. I've never tested the mic you have, the VM7, right?
yeah, the MV7, yeah.
MV. I can't say MV7.
Yeah, and this one I've seen it. I've seen this one on Amazon on like open box, like the warehouse deals or like used and stuff. I've seen it pop up there as well, which I was really surprised. Like I said, the only reason I got this one is because one of the homies hit me up and said, "Hey, I'm going a different route. Are you interested in picking up this mic before I put it on Craigslist?" And I'm like, "All right, what you got?" And as soon as he told me the price and what it was, I was like, "Send it. Let's do it." So
I think what he says, voice meter and Reaper plugins work
oh
for
yeah,
USB mics. Yeah, I mean,
voice meter is legit. If you know how to set it up, voice meter is
yeah.
legit.
I just don't want to, as a new person, like, I'm definitely not like you. I don't review mics or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have, but only for the purposes of, hey, this company said, hey,
Yeah, of
you do this
course.
video, we'll give you $1,000. Sure, I'll take that. I'll set that mic up and I'll keep the mic.
Yeah,
why
no doubt. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't go around buying microphones. Obviously, I got this one because I'm a fan of Yeti.
Yeah.
But I think the Sudoku was one of the few mics that I got that was actually fantastic, that I got in for review and I liked it a lot. I still have it. It's just that it's that weird USB K or what, I don't know what it is, that weird plug. And that's what's using it kind of on. I can't use it with my DSLR or anything like that. But I think the one you have is actually really good. I mean, for $250, you sound really good. But have you used, what was the other Yeti? The one before this one?
Well, that was just the standard. The first one people use is the snowball, and then people use the regular Yeti. Yeah,
I didn't like the snowballs. I just couldn't. I bought one, and I remember when they first hit, I went to Best Buy and I bought one, and I was just like, this sounds horrible. It just did not sound like what the people on YouTube made it out to be.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So I switched to the other one. It's not the Yeti X. It's the one before the Yeti. It looks like a Yeti X, but it's the same kind. It just came on.
It's just a regular Yeti.
Yeah, they come in blue and gray and white and all that. Yeah, I switched to that one, and it costs more. This one's less. I think this one's what, 149 or 99 or whatever at the time. It's totally worth it to me. Yeah. But you selling me on this mic here, actually. You're not even doing anything, but I just like how the tones are on there, man. It sounds really good.
Legit.
Yeah. It really is. I got to get that arm. I got to look up that. How much did that arm run? Do you know? Like $50?
I think the arm was like, for the biggest one, I think I paid like 60 for it. That's for the long one. Man, the shorter one was like 35. The big one, I actually had to get it off of it was either B&H or Autorama, but I think they're available on Amazon now because I got it in the middle of the pandemic. Everybody bought up everything.
Oh yeah. So, oh yeah. They just went crazy buying up everything. So
yeah.
So, folks, if you're just joining, we are talking about audio. If you're a new YouTuber out there, I mean, audio is going to be one of the biggest, alongside your internet connection. If you're doing a live stream, you're going to have a good internet connection. Wow, I don't know what's going on there, but audio is important. So, we're taking this thing through stages. And I think, like I said, for me, when I first started out, people complained about my video quality, and eventually told me, man, your audio sucks. And we're celebrating today part 6 with El Jefe, man. He is probably not known for reviewing microphones, as we just got done speaking of, but audio, earbuds, headphones. Now, question for you on that one. Now, you guys know that my favorites are my Sony. I keep them close by. These are only 3.5. I know you guys know. I've had these for almost 3 years. I won't get rid of them because when I'm editing or something like that, oh my gosh, man, it's incredible.
Those are the 7506s, right?
Huh?
The 7506?
Yeah. Man, I think I've had these for going on 3 years. Oh, man, I cannot get rid of these. Editing and things like that. For over the ear, if a person is going to do... Now, these have the mic These are I have the mic cable. I got the mic cable with the little mic on it. Um, Over the ear audio for sound check. I mean, because you can have a good. There are some over the. LaShawn uses he uses the headset with the boom mic,
Hmm.
and I just recently got a new one in, and it was nice, but it definitely is nowhere near. I would have to edit and post if I'm going to use that. Any recommendations on those like gaming setup heads? Because some of those are actually fantastic, but they are expensive. They
Yeah,
cost some of them cost more than like a microphone. Microphone.
yeah.
I always tell Sean, man, you sound fantastic, man, and we, when he's doing a live stream, or whatever, the audio is perfect because you got the boom mic. What do you say to people who say, or any recommendations for people who decide, hey, you know what, I'm gonna use one of these because I want to do this, because it's good for sound check, obviously, but then you get your mic. It's like an all in one. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Because I need to plug these in to this Yeti to do my sound check. I could leave them in, but I just took them out. But I like those setups like that. Do you think that's a recommendation that a person could actually use because they have the boom microphone? Like, because I've seen people recording videos with those
Hmm.
on, like
Hmm.
that's their audio.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah, I
take?
mean, they're not all created equal, so that's one of the things where you want to make sure you go and do your research on them because some of them are better than others. I know Corsair had one that's got a pretty decent mic. Logitech, if I remember correctly, they're working with Blue to have like
Are
the
they?
blue mic function. Yeah, it's same company, same parent company.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Because I
So they're
rock
working
with one.
together. I was listening to some sound clips of one of the latest sets from Logitech's gaming headset side, and I was like, "All right, this is getting real now." If you want to have one that's just kind of out of the box with the mic, I know what was the other one? There was an expensive Steel Series one that I heard that was pretty good too. And then if you don't want to spend that much, I mean, you always have the option where if you just have a good set of headphones, you can grab this the mod mic and you can
Oh yeah.
add it to your headphones. And
Yeah.
when I got that, I was shocked at how good it was. That thing cost me, I think, $60.
For real.
So yeah, it basically like it just comes with a little mic. You can attach it, sticks on. It has like a little magnet, and then it basically puts a boom in front of you.
Yeah.
And dude, the mic quality is so much better than most gaming headsets.
Yeah. Because gaming
So I was
headsets
really
are
surprised.
expensive. I
Yeah, they
forget.
even have a
I forget
wireless
which
version
one
now.
LaShawn uses. If you're in here, LaShawn, let me know which that latest one that you use because I totally forget which one it is, but it sounds really good, man. I
Yeah,
mean, I guess
yeah,
the only
there's no problem.
disadvantage of those will be that you have to wear that. You got to wear the headset.
Yeah,
But most people, like you're wearing yours now, and I just took mine off. I mean, most people are comfortable doing it as long as it's a comfortable like on over the ear setup. It's gonna be great.
yeah,
It's gonna be really good. So I think
yeah,
some people probably would probably want to use a setup like that because I think that's an approach that's actually something that if a person is going to not do a lot of talking heads and probably just do live streams and then top downs like pretty much what most people do on YouTube, I think that would be a good setup to go
yeah,
with like a gaming setup like that
yeah. I
because
mean, it won't break
they're
the
going to
bank.
save money, right?
Yeah.
In the
Oh
end,
hell yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what they want to do. But yeah, it doesn't have to break the bank. You can get away with that, especially if you're just doing it to entertain people, you're just having fun and you don't want to invest a ton of money into it. You're not trying to go for a super professional look, super professional sound. You'll
yeah.
be fine. I know plenty of people that are doing their live streams with a webcam and a gaming headset, and
Well,
they're doing it.
well,
So yeah, I
I
think it's
think
more about just doing it.
Me and Gigi uses we both have a 4K Logitech. I have the 4K. I'm pretty sure she does too. That 4K, the latest 4K Logitech, not the latest one. The one from I have the one from like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because they have that new one out, but I think it doesn't have a mic on it or something. That's a bad idea. But I think she uses a webcam too, and I do too sometimes the 4K one. But I use that, and I've tried it with the headset, and it was pretty decent, man. I think the good part is you get really strong feedback when you're using a headset like that. Now
Yeah.
it kind of uses the Byron dynamic, so
Oh,
I
nice.
think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that setup that he uses, man, is crazy.
Yeah,
It's just
Bear Dynamic makes good stuff, and like their
it is
microphone quality is good too.
it is ridiculous. How much do those run? Do you know how much those run?
Oh, if last I checked, well, I don't know how much his cost, but I think they were upwards of 200 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're. I mean, but again, if you're trying to get like an all-in-one and you need a sound check, that's the way to go. If you're not going to be doing like face shots, a whole bunch of like where you're like doing the news or something like giving a lot of shots with yourself on camera, I would recommend that I guess because that mic sounds fantastic. When he's on those live streams, man, it's up close and personal, man. I like that. Oh,
Yeah, just
139. What?
nice.
No,
Yeah,
let me make sure that they're talking about. Okay, they might be talking about this. Okay, 140. Okay, yeah. So they are talking about it. Wow,
Yep.
140 for that setup. That's crazy. That's a good setup right there. If you're going to be doing a lot of top downs, and obviously I do a lot of top downs, and I'm starting back on live stream. I would totally use that for a live stream too, because I know it's comfortable. I know
Yeah.
I know it is. There's no way it's not. It's got those big old cuffs on there. So people using a setup like that, it's a win-win. It is a
Yeah.
win-win. And I spoke of Juan Bagnell earlier. I was watching these are some of his older videos, at least a year and a half, 2 years ago. I think I saw some of his videos when he was using a phone with an external microphone.
Hmm.
How does first of all, have you ever, at what time period did you use a phone with an external mic? 6 months, a year, like for your video? Did you do that for a long time? Did you do it at all?
You mean like with the lav mic hookup, hooked
Yeah,
up to it?
yeah.
Oh man, I did that for the longest time.
Really?
Probably a good 2 years, I would say. It was 2020 when I had switched over to the Samsung, like late 2019, early 2020 when I switched over to the Samsung, and then it was like the middle of last year. Um, yeah. So yeah, it was probably like mid 2019 when I switched to the Samsung. Then about a year later, I switched over to the MB7.
So
Um,
you're using right now Sigma lens? Are you using Sigma lens too?
yeah,
I could tell. I mean, I'm using one too.
yeah.
You know, I mean, the Sigma lenses are just that's just how it goes, man. You just
Yeah, and
I have
it's
my
kind of
webcam.
overkill for what we do, but you
It
know.
is. It is. I have my webcam, and I was using my webcam regularly. But when I got the new rig and everything, it was a setup thing. I was like, okay, I can just plug it in here, and I start using my cam link more. But I do like my webcam because webcams don't require any extra power, and you don't have to worry about anything. I love the 4K webcam. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I knew you were using this. So audio quality, video quality on point. Um, do you ever think you do you ever feel like you'll ever stop and have a main focus on something other than audio? Because right now you don't know again, if you don't know what it is. When you search, you're gonna be like, God, this guy has every phone, this guy has every earbud and headphone that I could possibly purchase. Do you plan on taking your channel in any other direction?
I mean, that was the real goal for the channel was like right now I'm having a really good time with doing the audio stuff. Like I'm having a
Yeah,
great time doing that. The game plan was to really focus in on what I'm doing and try to do the best I can in this particular space and really try to go after this topic on YouTube because YouTube is very
yeah,
topic based. So I
mhm,
definitely want to lean into that. But as the channel grows and as I develop a really hardcore core audience because 56,000, but out of those 56,000 I got maybe 5,000 that are really hardcore. Those are the ones that'll show up for any video. So I'm trying to
yeah,
develop that core audience to where that's like maybe 10,000 people. So where I can drop a video about diapers and they'll come through and I'll get like 10,000 views on it. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to get it to that level. But
oh,
basically, at a certain point, I am going to start spreading out the content and doing, just a bit more. Basically, it's going to be more home theater,
yeah,
more into the other stuff that I'm really into, like PC gaming,
yeah,
peripherals, a lot of different stuff. So I'm going to start spreading it out more,
yeah,
not straying too far from tech. Because if I'm going to get away from it to where it's not in the same, even if it's not in the same lane of audio, as long as it's on the
yeah,
same side of the highway in tech and like desktop peripherals and stuff,
yeah,
then I'll start a different channel for that. But for right now, focused in, but at a certain point, maybe when I start getting to like 65, 75, 80K, and I see that the numbers are doing good,
yeah.
then I'll start putting out different content along with what I'm doing.
Are you satisfied with? And we're going to get to this question. You can answer this question right here, since you're the invited guest. I'll tag along after you and piggyback you. But are you happy with the way your channel is going currently? Like whatever your views are, and folks, you gotta make sure you tune in next Monday for part 7. That is going to be a epic. I've already got 4 people that are going to just shut this thing down, and I won't spoil it for you, but it's going to be great. Part 7 is going to be good. So I'm trying not to. I was trying talking to T last week. I was like, man, I'm trying not to dip into the financial portion, but it's kind of hard sometimes. But
Yeah.
are you satisfied with your views? Are you satisfied with how your channel's going? Because new people are going to watch you and say, well, this guy's got 50 some thousand subs in a short period of time. Like, how long did it take you to get to 56?
4 years.
2 years?
Nah,
4
4.
years?
Yeah.
Wow, it took that long. Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
did tell me it took you a long time to get to 1,000. I remember. I think that was
Yeah.
you saying too. So,
Yeah.
are you happy with the direction or how your channel is doing? Are you happy with your views? Are you happy with just everything on there right now?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. That's one of the things that I'm really excited about the way it's going. And it's tough to not like it wasn't always that way. But
Yeah.
it wasn't always that way. Like it wasn't always where I was super happy with it, but I always stayed grinding. So that's the thing. I always kept the workflow up, even from the beginning. Always kept working at it and working at it, drop the next video, move on to the next video, move on to the next video. And there was times in like 2019, 2020, where I wasn't feeling it. Like I thought I should have gotten to 50K faster, stuff like that, where you kind of have that in your head.
Everybody has done that. Everybody has said I should
Yeah.
be here fast. Everybody has thought like that,
But
man.
here's the thing though, but I slowed
I
down.
did.
Like, yeah, I had a kind of a shift on that mentality where I'm just like, one of the things is this, um, everything is gonna come when it's gonna come. The time, everything has its time. And right now, what I'm really happy with is that the channel's still growing. Sometimes it slows down its growth, sometimes it speeds up its growth, but it's still growing. So as long as I'm moving forward and I'm moving in a positive direction, then I'm happy with what's going on. And I also know like some stuff is not going to do very well. Certain videos aren't going to perform well. Some other
Oh
ones
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So it is what it is. And so one of the things that, I don't want people in a perfect world, every video would be a hit, but that's just not the way it works.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's just one of the things where I'm
I
cool
tell
with
new
what I'm doing.
people, I tell new people, you got to be prepared to be on a situation where you're getting 5 views on a video that you worked really
Yeah.
hard on. You got to be ready mentally for that because
Yep.
that's part 8, folks. When we talk about the psychological side, just so you know, little plug in there. That's probably gonna have to be a big stream because I need a wide variety of people to talk about that because I can't do that one alone. But that's 8 or 9. I'm not sure yet. But
Yeah.
so I'm going to throw these numbers out there to you. And I just want you to tell me how you feel about it because I think this is actually, when you think about this, this is incredible for a new person. This is something to make you think, or and this is about El Jefe, whether he knows it or not. But this is something to make you think and to give you some motivation. Now, technically, in the world of tech, according to a certain website, he's actually ranked 9,350. That's pretty doggone good when you think about how big the country is for YouTube. He's way up in the top 10,000. How many people are in the world? How many people do YouTube? Millions of people do YouTube.
Yeah.
He's ranked kind of high for a guy who has 56,000 viewers. That's pretty good. How does that make you feel to know that I'm way up in the top 10,000 people out of all these millions of people that are doing YouTube? And you're focusing solely on audio right now.
Yeah. No, I mean it is. So here's the thing, and it's not to sound like messed up or anything. It doesn't surprise me because of the amount of people that create channels.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a small percentage of those people that even make it to 1,000.
Yeah.
And so it's such a small percentage. That's why I always tell people, especially smaller creators and stuff, that like, hey, if you made it to 100, you're already so far ahead of so many people that never made it to 100. And the people that make it to 1,000, I'm like, you're now in sort of an elite group overall.
Yeah.
And like once every time you reach another milestone, the group gets smaller and the group gets smaller and the group gets smaller. So I'm glad to see that, but it doesn't surprise me because I talk to like now, Jay, like for what I do for work for vidIQ, I talk to so many channels and I can see so much data that now it's just like you really get a big picture of like, holy crap, what we're doing, like you hitting 100K, me hitting 50, Gigi breaking 1,000, stuff like that. It's like we're the exceptions to the rule. The rule is most people never hit 1,000. So us being in the like in the higher percentile, I'm happy about it, but I'm also not surprised because so many people just can't get it there. Like they can't.
Some people might say, well, he's in the top 10,000. That's not a big deal. Oh, yes, it is, because it's millions and millions of people that are getting views on YouTube. There's some people that drop a video and they get 1 million views within 3 hours. And he's ranked now. I haven't checked my own, but he's ranked 9,350, and that's pretty doggone high considering he's got 56,000 views. And it says in tech, and I'm in tech, so he's ranked really, really high. I mean, for somebody who's solely focusing, the predominant focus on his channel is audio. That's a huge feat. Now, what do you say to being ranked 69,000 in the country? How many people in the world? Wild. That's high. Did you even know that?
No, I haven't been checking those rankings in a long time.
I looked, man. I was like, wow, I wonder if he knows this.
Yeah, no, not at all, man.
Those are some high numbers for a person. And again, that's motivation. And he's only been doing YouTube for 4 years. So you should take that as some kind of motivation to, you know what, I can do this. And like he just got done saying, a lot of people, and honestly, I think T told me that too. I didn't even really know that many people don't make it to 100 subs. Yeah. I never really paid attention to that because I started YouTube 16 years ago almost. So I didn't have to go to those links that people have to do now. So
Mhm.
that's a huge feat, dude. I gotta give it to you props.
Yeah,
Bring
because the
69,000
competition is so
freaking
high now, man.
country. Yeah, it's tight. It's
Yeah.
tight right now.
Yeah,
It's so tight.
everybody's kids want to do YouTube.
Yes,
Everybody started a channel, especially during COVID.
yes,
So many new channels got created, and it's just, yeah, it's
yes.
one of those things where to make it now is way harder than it's ever been before. That's also why I got so much love for the creators that are coming up right now that are like grinding, like the ones
Mhm.
that are really putting in the work and dropping videos and doing their stuff. Like I love supporting these channels
Oh yeah,
because
oh yeah,
for them, I know it's harder than it even was for me. So it's, yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, man, I love supporting them.
So let's hit this question right here, man. Mike says, "Is it hard, LFA, to set up your own YouTube channel?"
No, not really. I think there's just things that you should know ahead of time that I wish I would have known. Like stuff about like really about security, like making sure you're setting up a different public facing Gmail account that
Oh,
and you create your YouTube account on that account. And like so basically just really setting up your security just in case. Doing that stuff ahead of time and then also making sure like locking down whatever channel name you pick,
oh,
really take your time and that way you can lock down all of your social media accounts, like all of them, just lock them all down. So there's little business things of it that I wish I would have known, but overall it's really not difficult. If you sign into Gmail, you can set up a YouTube account. And then after that, it's just really about figuring out what your passion is, what you want to make videos about, what you want your message to be, and then figuring out a workflow. And then that's why people like me exist who want to help you. And I'm just new to that part of it. There's so many other people that are just giving away the game for free, which is
yeah,
great. Like I learned how to do YouTube on YouTube.
yeah.
So that's it's all out there. Like if you want it, you don't have to pay for courses. Like I told you, you don't have to pay for courses if you don't want to. It can help you even more,
I
but
think
it's
honestly,
all out there though.
if I'm being honest, I think that's one of the biggest scams I've ever seen on YouTube.
Well,
Paying
it depends on who you're at, because some are, but some aren't. So because
well,
I've
I
actually benefited
personally,
greatly from it.
I mean, everybody's gonna have their own take on that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just like people who hire fitness trainers just to tell them you can do it. That's how I
Oh,
feel about all these people out here trying to
that's
sell
a
people
that's a
on
life coach,
pay
man.
$69. Yeah, I know, right? Pay $69 and I can show you all the tricks to doing YouTube.
Yeah.
Folks, let me tell you something. There are no tricks to doing YouTube. You set up your channel and see the statement right here I pinned from Gigi. I figure as long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters. And I've always told people you have to have fun because you're gonna have to prepare yourself for those days that you just don't get the views or you worked hard on something and then it just don't pan out the way you wanted it to.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't think there's any tricks to a person starting YouTube. It's just
No.
not at all, man. Not
No,
at
the
all.
biggest trick is
Hey,
consistency.
there's
That's
white
the
people.
biggest trick right there is
Yeah,
making sure you just get out there and start putting out videos. I mean, beyond that, but I will
yeah,
say, though, like I said, the reason I say I disagree was because one of the courses I took was on diversifying revenue streams for a channel,
right.
and because of that, that changed it from me on average getting like not to get too much into money, but where I was averaging maybe like 500 a month, maybe 600
Yeah,
a month on the channel,
yeah,
to where I 10 times that.
yeah,
So, and that's based on the stuff that I learned. And that was, to me, that paid for itself because that course
yeah.
cost me like
Oh yeah,
$300,
yeah,
but it paid for itself literally within 6 months. And now, fast forwarding it, I think it's been now almost 2 years since I took that course. I've earned so much money on that $300, Jay.
yeah.
Like it's so much return on that investment. And not
Mhm.
only that, me now taking what I learned and teaching other people
Yeah,
how to do that too. Where now there's one dude, I'm not going to say his name, who wants to pay me on a monthly basis because of how much money is earning more now. And because I told him how to do it, I'm like, bro, you don't owe me anything. Like
yeah.
this
He's not
information
very
was
good with
out
money
there.
either. That person. Don't say his name because he's definitely not good with finances. If he's
That's what
ready
I'm
to give
saying. I
you
was like,
money, so that doesn't make any
no,
sense.
because he like it's out of gratitude. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
bro, keep it. Like invest in you. I was like, hey, you want to give me a hundo or
yeah.
whatever? Donate it.
Yeah, invest in yourself. Do
Yeah.
something. Donate it. Give it. I don't know.
Yeah. But
I
that's what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
I've
So
just always felt like based on a lot of the people that I've met so many YouTubers in person, and it's really to advice to new YouTubers. And I want you to answer this question. What advice do you give? I know we're talking about audio. Appreciate Carl for some chat. What advice would you tell a person about starting a YouTube channel? Because that's what this is all about. What would you tell them if they say, "Hey, I want to join an MCN and I want to take this course that you took"?
mhm.
Where do you tell? What direction do you tell this person to go in?
Nah, man, I think if anything, I tell them just to really get started. like just turn on the camera and start talking and start putting up the videos, because one of the things that nobody can teach you this is your own work ethic to
Yeah,
like turn on the camera, talk, go through the process of editing, uploading the video, getting it out there, making your thumbnails, going through this, and then starting over again and starting over again and starting over again. Doing that repetition is just like people who have to work out. There, you can't expect yourself to run a marathon if you haven't been running for the last 20 years. You got to work out. You got to build up to that. And
yeah,
that's what it takes. I think for more than anything else, if you want to invest anything into your channel as you're getting started, invest time. Get
yeah,
ready to invest that time in putting
yeah,
out those videos. And
yeah,
if you want to learn, then all the stuff is out there. But I usually tell people, don't pay for anything for your channel
yeah,
until the channel can pay for it itself. Unless you're
yeah,
talking products and you're getting them anyway, it is what it is. But like for myself, like the camera, channel paid for it. The
yeah,
microphone, the channel paid for it.
yeah,
The stuff that I was like learning, that course that I told you about, the channel
yeah,
paid for that. So
yeah,
I never came out of pockets. None of my own paycheck money from my 9 to 5
yeah.
paid for anything on this channel. So that's
I
one of the
always tell
things
people
where,
that you don't want to, and obviously that's going to have to lean into next week's discussion on finances as well. 'Cause That's such a touchy, such a huge conversation to have
yeah.
about the money portion of it. How many people are, how many people are getting played right now on YouTube? You've got
Oh,
people paying other people probably to edit their videos. What? You got people
yeah.
paying to do logos. You got people paying to do countertops. There's so many people that are paying for things that you can do yourself. Like you just said, invest the time. Now, again, my thoughts on a person starting a YouTube channel, I would never tell them to join an MCN, multiple channel network. You know,
Oh
this is
yeah.
where they
No.
say they're gonna make you famous. You know what I'm saying? It's a scam. They're just taking your money that you
Yeah.
get. You know what I'm saying? Stay a YouTube partner. You should
Yeah.
only be a YouTube partner. That would be my advice to a person starting out. And as far as the courses and stuff like that, it worked for you. I personally just don't believe in it. I think it's a
Yeah.
scam to tell a person this is what you can do to get more money out of YouTube. Now, if you're just looking to be famous or make money on YouTube, then it definitely works. Obviously,
Mhm.
for you it worked. But let me retract that. It's only going to work for the person that actually knows how to put it to work for themselves.
Exactly. You got to
Scams
act
are
on it.
things, yeah. Scams are things like I'll show you how to flip this house with no money down. That's a freaking scam. That's the way I take some of these people because there's a lot of people are saying they're selling these YouTube courses. It's a scam. It's one person might have did it genuinely, and they genuinely started it for business purposes. But then everybody after that figured, you know what, I can do this too. No refunds. I mean, but I always think that there's no trick to doing YouTube. You are probably known for videos on headphones.
Mhm.
Probably known by everybody. You want to see a headphone? Go check out a Hefe. That's just the way the word goes. Like hell, Hefe has even though there's a ton of people that does headphone videos, that's the claim. I mean, I just told you it was ranked like 6,000 or 9,000, something like that. Out of all the people in tech, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
69,000 in the country. In the country, that's incredible. Now, if those numbers are accurate, that is freaking amazing. I'm scared
Yeah.
to put myself in there to look because I never really paid attention to that portion, but that's incredible. And again, that should be motivation. Now, you can take his advice, or you can not take his advice, but he's clearly talking from experience on how to get your channel started, some tips and tricks that you should do. And if it's working, it's working. You have the power to turn something off or turn it on. You're in control of that. Just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and
Yeah.
vice versa. If it worked for him, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I think the underlying fact is you got to be having fun. You got to be doing something you like. You can't start a channel on rice cakes if you don't like rice cakes.
Facts.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
You can't mimic. Like I told you earlier, just joining in, I said there are no more MKBHDs. There are no more LFAs. There's no more J Wills. There's no more Flossies. There's no more Vipers. There's no more T's. There's no more Erics. There's no more Juicies. There's none of these. No more tech loving mamas. There are none of these people. Those slots are filled. They're filled. So you create your own lane. That is what you need to do right there. Is create your own lane, and you start that new thing because you want to be able to replace and do better than all these people that you envy. You
Nice.
want to surpass all the stuff they're doing. Just because something looks a certain way, and from experience, oh yeah, I have 126,000 people, but I guarantee you, like some of these people who have these millions of subs, they're not financially getting it like you think. Because if
Yeah.
they don't have the views, sub count is important. Let's be clear, sub count is important. But what good is sub count if nobody watches you?
Yep.
Check out all the views on some people. They have hundreds of thousands of subs and nobody's watching. Oh, they get a lot of sponsored content. So they're making some cash, obviously. Some, they're getting some big sponsorships. But if nobody's watching you, you got to prepare yourself for those days as a new content creator.
Yep.
So, I mean, one of the best things I think Jefe said was start with the lav mic. Don't spend a lot of money. I've trickled back around to that twice already because it's important to note that you cannot start a YouTube channel and go all in right away.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. Financially, you just somebody looked me up. I appreciate that, man. I thought that says I don't have my glasses on, so I didn't know what that said. But whoa, I never looked. It's crazy. I've looked, but I never noticed that.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. But you know what? You know why that's not so incredible? Because he's been doing it for 4 years, and I've been doing it for almost 16. I go figure. The ratio is leaning towards him being great. Not just, the numbers don't lie. 4 years versus almost 16. What about 10 or 11 years of complete activeness? You know what I'm saying? Like about 11 of that 16 was like, I'm serious. Yeah. So, it's okay. I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Cool. No, man. That's real though. Like, I think one of the things that a lot of people should take away from it is the mistake I made, right? Because I would have started this channel a good year earlier, but I had this barrier of entry where I thought I had to have a bunch of expensive equipment. So I was saving up until I ran into a channel, which I think he changed his channel name recently, but he was Paul Tech.
Oh,
you know Paul Tech? Yeah.
Yeah, he hung out with us in New York. Yeah.
So I was watching his channel, and in passing,
what did he change his channel to?
I can't remember. I think it was like budget phone reviews.
So he's starting a brand now.
I think so. I think so.
You have to have a brand. I talked about that before. You gotta have a brand.
Yeah. But I was watching one of his videos, and he had said something in passing, and he was like, "Yeah, and I'm using this video, this phone to like edit my videos and shoot all my videos." And I was like, "What?" So I remember hitting dude up, and I'm like, "Hey, or I left a comment. I'm like, are you making all your videos with your phone?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then that just set off the light bulb in my head. And a month later, I uploaded my first video. So it was one of those things. Yeah. So it just clicked in my head.
I didn't know he changed his channel to something else.
Yeah.
That's definitely something you should do, folks. I've learned from experience on that. You have to have a brand. If you want to make it to where companies are calling you for sponsorships and calling you to get their products, you got to have a brand. Yep. Now, you might not be able to start off like that. Sometimes you just got to get your feet wet. And like he said earlier, you just got to start. You can't worry about, I don't have the right mic. Get yourself going, because most of you probably working a 9 to 5, or you're doing regular life things and you want to get this going. Start small. Don't spend a lot of money. And I'll leave that for next week's stream because it's kind of difficult not to talk.
Yeah, no, it's really
you can't start so high when you set the bar so high for yourself that it's not a realistic goal. So LF graced us with his presence today. I really appreciate it, man. Hopefully, he'll be joining us again for another episode. I won't spoil it for you, but I hope you guys. I'm sure you got a lot from this one because I learned. I'm probably gonna go shopping when I normally shop during streams, but it's only me and him, so I can't do it. But I've already got the websites pulled up, just so you know. Man, I got to get that arm for sure. I hope you guys. Yes, I do. That $60 is not a lot of money. You guys, I hope you learned something for audio because, and if you want to check out, I know I do earbuds. I do a ton of them, but I think he does a better job than I do, obviously. So that's why I want to have him on. He does a great job with his earphone videos.
I just go in deep, man. There's plenty of us doing it, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of room and space, but, I do those types of videos, but, nonetheless, he's good. So if you want to see definitely good, I guess it looks like I'm freezing up, man. I hate my internet.
It's going in and out, but it's all good. You sound good right now.
It can't be my internet because I have great internet. I don't know what the heck that's about, but yeah, man, I appreciate him coming on, and I hope you guys really enjoy it, man. Some of you guys knew that. I think only one person knew because I asked someone. I said, "Is he interested in this?" They said, "Oh yeah, man, he's gonna be the one to get for that one." So audio is important, and he's giving you a couple of recommendations on how to start or what you should pick up for your audio on your channel. And you gotta have a place to start, and I think that's the most important thing. So, if you didn't learn anything else. You want to buy a mic, get a lab mic. You heard it from him. Get a lab mic. Start there. Get a lab mic. Get a lab mic because it's affordable and it'll make it It'll just do right by you. The FFA, now I'll let you close out. It's man Jay. We're gonna get out of here because I'm getting a little frustrated with this StreamYard connection thing that I'm having here. But nonetheless, fantastic conversation. I will keep it pushing next week though, and we're gonna keep this ball rolling. Next week should be really really interesting. But LFA is here. Be sure to check his channel out. I'll leave links and stuff out after this video goes public or live afterwards for the replay group. But in close out, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, your channel, your social, everything. We're gonna get out of here.
Oh yeah, no man. I mean, it's El Jefe Reviews here on YouTube and social media. Same thing at El Jefe Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I usually stay off of Facebook, but you can still find me on IG and on Twitter for sure. And then right now, man, I'm heavy on the grind. I'm dropping videos left and right now because I got to get caught up, man. So that's what you'll see me right now in the comment section.
All right, all day, man. All right, man. I'll see y'all next week, man. I appreciate y'all stopping by. This was fun. I appreciate you guys always supporting, man. All the super chats. I appreciate y'all supporting the channel that way. And we're gonna get out of here, and I'll see you next week, part 7. You don't want to miss part 7. I can't stress it enough. It's gonna be good. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.